Hello, everybody, and thank you so much for joining me today. I am Bryony Zasman with Zoom Catalog, and we're going to jump right in. So all of you are joining us today to learn about our new virtual sample tool that we have built for the industry. I'm going to start the presentation off with a couple of slides, and then we're going to get right into the product and take a look. If you have any questions during the session, please feel free to type them in the chat box. Also, we only have 30 minutes today, so if you want a deeper dive or a more one-on-one session, reach out to us and we can schedule that. So one thing you'll see throughout this session is that we have been focused on how virtuals are made. We know there are tools out there today, but most suppliers are creating their virtual samples manually. They're reliant on designers, and it does take sometimes hours, if not days, to get virtual sample requests fulfilled. We did a number of surveys, and speed at which virtuals were created was the #1 pain point across every supplier we spoke with. So what we have done is built the fastest way to create virtual samples. So what we're doing is actually building a virtual sample tool into our ZOOMstudio platform. Now, some of you here today already have ZOOMstudio or have seen ZOOMstudio. I am going to spend a few minutes showing the platform, but we have limited time, so if you want to see that more, definitely reach out. ZOOMstudio is a platform we built for your team and distributors to be able to create the content they need quickly and easily, whether that's lookbooks, catalogs, presentations, flyers, and so forth. We connect your product data to ZOOMstudio so that it is always accurate and easy to get exactly what you need as you create your pieces. We've also ensured that the platform is extremely user-friendly so that anyone on your team and any distributor at any tech level is able to create something that looks amazing and get it to their customers quickly. So now we're changing the way that you, your team, and distributors create virtual samples. So a little bit about our research that we've done on this topic. Zoom Catalog has been around for 14 years now, and we've worked closely with suppliers and distributors. Virtuals have always been a pain point. When we decided that we wanted to tackle virtual samples with ZOOMstudio, we took some surveys and started speaking with suppliers. These are the general pain points that every supplier expressed. First, the slow turnaround times to fulfill virtual sample requests. Again, that's going to a designer who needs to use special software like Illustrator to be able to create what they need. Ultimately, slow turnaround times results in lost customers and slow sales cycles. We also found that most suppliers have difficulty creating variations of virtuals. You usually do not get one request for one blue mug with one logo. Generally, a request is multiple mugs in multiple colors with multiple logos. So the request can become quite complicated. Suppliers do struggle with creating all these variations and oftentimes have to pick and choose which virtual sample requests they fulfill. Ultimately, that means virtual samples can't really be a tool for sales and upselling. Now with the virtual add-on for ZOOMstudio, it is, because it is so quick and easy to create virtual samples that not only can your team do it quickly for your customers, distributors can self-serve. Another thing we found was that today, when suppliers do create virtual samples, they're sending them out either as a PDF, JPEG, or PNG. What that means is you're adding an attachment to an email, sending it off, and then you really have no idea what happens to those afterwards. Are they being viewed? Are they being shared? Are they resulting in sales? This was an important finding for us, and we wanted to ensure that with our virtual sample add-on, that you have that tracking and insight to see how the virtual samples are ultimately impacting and improving sales. So, as I already mentioned, we're building a tool that anyone can use and will allow you to make virtuals in seconds, not days or hours. So your team, whether it's your sales team, your marketing team, or even your design team, can jump in and put these together quickly. And then, of course, your distributors can self-serve too, as these tools do integrate with your website. When we take a look at the tool, you'll see that there is some areas where we can actually enhance the tool with product data. So you'll see that not only are we connecting to your product data, like your product descriptions, pricing, images, we can also connect to your imprint data. So your imprint areas, your locations, the sizes, and so forth. Now, don't worry, if you do not have this imprint data available, you can absolutely get set up. The setup process will just look slightly different. And then you'll see in the tool that we have a unique asset library that allows users to save and store assets they upload. What that means is each user can have a library of logos easily accessible anytime they need to create virtuals. So they don't have to keep re-uploading a logo every time they need it. You also can use the asset library to set permissions. So as a supplier, you could build a customer library of logos and make them available just to your team members. So I'm going to switch over now and do a really short walkthrough of ZOOMstudio. I think this is going to be my record time studio demo, but again, I want to focus on the virtual sample tool. So ZOOMstudio is a platform for creating content. If you decide to move forward with it, we're going to connect your data and we're going to set you up with your own instance. This is just a mock-up company, so it looks a little different, but of course it'll be your logo, your colors, and set up specifically for you. This is where you're going to send in your team and your distributors. Now we'll come back to this templates option, but I'm going to go ahead and start a new design. Because we're doing this quickly, I'm going to throw together a really quick flyer. The use case might be that I'm a sales rep and they are asking, a distributor's asking me for some product suggestions, or perhaps I'm a distributor and I want to put together some products to present to a customer, or even create a flyer to add to social media or put in an email blast. So I'll give my design a name and set my other settings. I can choose currency if applicable. I can choose my page orientation. And importantly, I can swap out my logo. So I can actually pop in the distributor's logo here, which will show on the footer and the cover of the pages. And then we'll get started. Now we've made this really simple to use by allowing our tool to make the design decisions for a user. The user doesn't need to choose fonts and colors, alignment, where things should go, what size images should be. All they need to do is click on the content blocks to add to the page. Now this layout is very simple. It's 4 products, a logo, and a contact information block. So I can go ahead and click Add Product. This is where we've connected to your product data, so users can search for your products by keyword, product name, and product ID. So I'm going to go ahead and quickly select some products here. We can choose color variations, and then we can simply add the products. Those pop up on the page with all the accurate and up-to-date product details. And we're not going to get into it today, but I can also configure them if I need to. Market pricing, add colors, change the product image, etc. And then I can continue to add pages. I can add as many pages as I like and as many products as I need. And here you can see I'm changing my page layout. So I can use these layouts to make my pieces a bit more dynamic and match what I need. So here we're going to do another layout of products. So we have 2 product slots. I'm going to choose 2 items here, pop them in. And then you can see here we have an image block. This is the asset library I mentioned earlier. So I can choose anything I've uploaded in the past. I can also go to a shared library. So as a supplier, you can upload all your lifestyle shots, your catalog images, and so forth, and make them available for users to enhance their designs. And then we have Unsplash. With Unsplash, I can search thousands of royalty-free stock images and find ones that I can use in my design. All right, so I have my second page. I have a 2-page piece here. Maybe I'll go ahead and add one final page. And in this case, I'm going to make it a cover. So I'll choose the cover layout, and then I'm going to move that to be page number 1. And I can find the image I want. Let's go ahead and search for a nice mug and add a title. And that's it. So now I have a 3-page flyer. All my details are here. I can go ahead and publish, and I instantly have a link that I can pop into an email or use in my marketing. So this is what your customer will see, or what the distributor can share on with their customer. Another really awesome feature is the products are clickable. So I can click on an item to view additional information, such as the price, quantity breaks, additional colors, description. I can even download the product images. So that was my super speedy demo of ZOOMstudio. Let's jump into virtuals. So as I mentioned, we have built virtuals into ZOOMstudio. This is where users are already creating their presentations, their lookbooks, their flyers. And what we've done is we've allowed you to virtual enable your products so that as they're adding products, those products have a logo of their choice on them. So I'm going to start again, and I'm going to make a new design. This time, I'm going to navigate over to this virtual samples tab, and I'm going to toggle this on to apply logos to products as I add them to my piece. I can then go ahead and choose a previously uploaded logo or upload a new one. We also have logo cleanup tools where I can remove the background and change the color. Now, another thing I want to mention is that we are building this product in phases, and there are some additional features that are going to be coming down the road, which I can highlight throughout this presentation. So one that I'd like to mention here is that right now you can change the color of your logo. If you have a multicolor logo, it will change it to a single color. Down the road, we'll be introducing a feature where you can change the color of different areas of your logo, so you can make it a 2-color or a 4-color imprint, depending on what your starting point is. So I'm going to go ahead and select my logo. So now I have chosen the virtual sample that should be applied anytime I add a product to the page. We'll go ahead and get started. Now we'll work with the 4-product layout to start, and I'm going to go ahead and search for the items I need. So I can pick the product I'd like to add to the page. We'll start with this one. Choose the color variation, select it, and add. Now you'll see it goes into this processing state for just a moment, and then the product appears with the logo on it. So as you can see, it's extremely fast to add products with logos on them. I'm going to continue adding products here as these are processing, and you'll see them pop up. So I don't think it gets much faster than this when creating virtual samples. And I want to talk a little bit about how we know where that logo goes and what the user can do from here. So when we add a logo, it is going onto what we refer to as the primary imprint location. We have a really intuitive dashboard where you can manage your products and your imprint locations in one place. When you set up your imprint locations, you can actually apply multiple imprint locations per product. So for example, when we have a hoodie, that logo could probably go in multiple places: on the left chest, the right chest, the center, the back, the sleeve. You can configure as many of these imprint areas as you need, and you're going to choose one of those to be the primary location. That's where a logo will drop when a user adds it to the page. However, the user can go in and make a change and view what other imprint locations are available for the item. They can then generate a virtual for any of the available imprint areas and even make changes to the single logo if needed. So for example, if this hoodie was white, while the logo looks great on these other products, I'm not going to be able to see it very well on a white hoodie. So I might want to come in here and edit the logo and swap out the color so it appears differently on this specific product. I can also choose to generate additional virtuals, so I can show the logo on multiple colors or in multiple areas for one single item. So let's go ahead and add another page and again, take a look at the speed at which we can add products. Now this studio is dummy data, so we are limited in our options here, but of course we will be setting this up with your products and the product, your imprint locations. So let's find another one here. And I'll add those 2 products. And they show up with the logo. Now, while this one is processing, I'm also going to change my page layout for this page. And I'm going to choose the half and half that has a nice banner at the top. So then I can go add image, and I can search for a product or an image that looks great. I'm not going to be too picky here. Of course, you probably want to find something that matches your design a little better than I am about to, but I want to keep moving. So we'll pop that one in there. And there we go. So now I have a 2-page flyer. I can keep going. I can have 40 virtuals, 100 virtuals in here if I need to. Now, another really cool feature is if I decided, you know what, this logo is not right. I want to use an alternative logo. All I need to do is go to my design settings, go to the virtual samples tab, and choose that different logo. The different logo will then replace on all the items. So another use case that might come up for suppliers is that you want to create templates. You want to build out some beautiful catalogs, beautiful flyers, maybe presentations that you often get requests for, like your trending items, your new products, a specific product category, or products that are great for a specific seasonal event like holiday. So you can actually come in here and build those templates and share them with your users, and they can then pop their customer's logo across all the pieces. In essence, you're going to have virtual enabled content that you can use in your marketing and on your website. So let's take a look at what that would be like for a user. Now, before this demo, I created a really small catalog here, and I want to just show you all. So I threw this together in a couple of minutes. I have a nice cover page, and then I have some layouts with some items throughout. So let's pretend these are our new products that we're launching. We've built out a catalog for it so that we can promote these items. I published this piece as what we call a template. So what that means is when somebody is viewing it, they can actually sign in and customize it as their own. They're not customizing the original version you made. They're actually customizing a copy of it so they can really make it unique for them. Maybe they want to swap out products or mark up pricing, or they simply want to upload their customer's logo and have it applied to all the items. When you make these editable templates, you can also add them to your template library, which takes us back over here to the start page of ZOOMstudio. So this is the place you'll send your customers and your team members to get started. And they can start like I did, where I had a blank page and I started adding the products and elements I want. Or I can go in and go to templates. And here I can find a library of templates that were created, which I can use as my starting point. So I mentioned this earlier, but these can be really, really useful if your sales reps are getting a lot of similar requests. Maybe they are hearing a lot of people ask for a presentation with blue hoodies or items that are great for the holiday, items that are under $5, tech items. It really could be anything. You can go in and build out the content you need for that and then add it to the template library here. So I can browse my template library or the template library and find the piece I want to make my own. We're going to go ahead and use that lookbook that I just showed you. So I'm going to use template, and this is making a copy of it over into my account, which means I can now fully customize it as I need. Second here. Sorry, this was not happening earlier. One moment. I cleared my cache. Okay, so here it is. I have a version which I can customize. Now, there are a lot of different things that a user might want to do, like swapping the product, maybe replacing the lifestyle shot, definitely replacing the logo so that it's theirs and adding their own contact information. But for this demo, the point is you now have a virtual enabled catalog. So you can see all these products are decorated with example logos. But what I want to do now is choose a logo and have it applied to all the items throughout. Whether this lookbook is this size or maybe it is 40 pages with 100 products, I can choose a logo and have it go onto all the items. So to do that, I'm simply going to go to my design settings. I'll go over to the virtual samples tab, and I'll click to apply logos to products and then choose the logo I want. So again, I can upload a new one select one I've made, and I can also make variations of a logo in different colors if I need to, or maybe even remove the background from a logo. I can do that as well. We're going to stick to this white one here, and I click Save Settings, and you'll see, voila, my logo is now across all the products in this piece. Now we still have the functionality to make individual changes to the product as needed. So if I want to maybe change the location of this hoodie or change the color of this hoodie, I can do that. So I can go over here and I can view the product, and maybe I want to create a virtual for the blue hoodie. I can select the blue and then the imprint area I want, and that will just take a moment to generate. And now you can see I have swapped it to the blue hoodie with that logo. Or as mentioned, I can choose a different imprint location or upload an entirely different logo. Now you can create multiple virtuals for this product and also choose to select them for your sidebar. So I'm going to just choose a couple of images here, and I'll show you the sidebar in a moment, but since this piece is interactive, when somebody clicks on a product, they'll be able to scroll through all these product images. So we'll deselect the blank ones, keep these ones selected, and then we'll go ahead and publish our changes. That's it. In just a few moments, I now have a piece really customized for my customer and with their logo, which is going to be a really great way for that end user to really get a good feel for what their logo is going to look like on the products that are being shared with them. So here's the link that we can send over, and we can browse the catalog together. We have all our virtual samples here. I can also click on a product for that additional information and browse through the different product images. Not only that, I can download these product image or these virtual samples as well, which is a question we get quite often from suppliers. So if you need to use this virtual or distributor needs to use that in maybe a company store or something like that, they can absolutely get a high resolution version of that product. So now you can share interactive, fully customizable, and virtual enabled content that you create in ZOOMstudio. Now, I know a lot of you already create catalogs in InDesign and Illustrator, and that is still a great practice. You can build amazing content in there, but with ZOOMstudio supplementing that content, you can create pieces much faster, and you can use these more proactively. So for example, if you have a customer who has a really big project coming up, rather than sending them a bunch of links from your website in an email, you can actually take a few moments and build them a beautiful lookbook, which will allow them to present the items better. And of course, then they can apply logo to products, or you can do that for them. So this becomes an incredibly powerful tool, not only for being able to generate demand by creating more content and fulfilling more requests, but being able to actually create virtual samples, not only the requests you're getting in, but proactively. Your sales team can actually create these pieces and apply logos, share with distributors pre-sale to show them new items, or maybe they know they have an event that happened last year. They want to go ahead and create something and share some product ideas knowing it's coming up. They can really jump in here and create what they need. Now we have 7 minutes left. So the one last thing I just want to quickly show you is that with this tool, you're also going to have access to a really powerful dashboard. So just find the right tab here. Here we go. This dashboard is built not just for you as an admin, it's a dashboard for your entire team. Now this again is a dummy company, so we have a lot of dummy content being created. But when you log in here, you'll see not only what you've created, but what your entire team is creating, and also what your customers are creating. You're also going to get that insight into how those pieces are being shared and used. And then, of course, here I can also better manage my pieces in case I want to delete them, edit them. I'll be able to go and see which ones have been used as templates and how often those templates are being viewed and customized. So the dashboard is really a great tool for improving collaboration and insight among your team members. When you invite a team member, you can choose their role. So you can, if they're a manager, you can expand expand the feature set that they get. So managers can actually edit other customers and team members' designs, or if you want to add them as a rep, they'll simply see their own designs and be able to manage those. So that is our presentation today. We are really excited about the tool and also some features that are going to be coming up in the future. I'm sure that there are questions and probably some of them will touch on those features. So if you can type your questions in the chat box, I'll go ahead and run through those. Okay, first question is there ability to personalize? And I think what this is really asking is like, can I add in addition to a logo or in place of a logo, can I add text? And yes, that is one of the features that is in the next phase or two. So you will definitely have the option to be able to merge logo and text together, or just use text, or just use logo. There are actually quite a few features that are going to be coming down the pipeline in terms of the logo cleanup tool and actually setting up the design that's getting imprinted on the item. So the answer is yes, that is coming in the near future. Okay, so the other question is a big one. So what we refer to as imprint effects relates to imprint methods. Now, we fully understand that there are many complicated products out there in the industry, and the logo isn't always, it doesn't look exactly how it would look when it's uploaded to the computer. So for example, it might be embroidered, or it might need to be a 2-color imprint. It might be engraved or embossed. So that is actually part of our next phase, where we're going to be working with imprint effects. This is a really exciting one because when I add the logo, it's going to take the effect of that imprint method. So it'll look like it's stitched on the item or engraved on the item. We're also going to tie this feature directly back to your imprint and product data. So when I go to an item, I will be able to see exactly what imprint methods are available. Now, one of those will be assigned as the primary imprint method. So when I add the logo, it's automatically going to look like the most common method that's used, but the distributor can switch it. So if the alternative is the embroidery, they can then choose that and it'll alter the appearance of the logo on the product, making it look even more realistic. All right, so another question that we have, so they're asking if the logo needs to go underneath something, and I think I know what you mean. So we also have a feature, this one's actually already partially built, that we're introducing that is called masking. So we might have a product like a hoodie where the strings hang down the front and the logo is full chest, and it needs to appear like that logo is underneath those strings. Or maybe it's on the back of the hoodie, but the hood is folded down, so it needs to tuck underneath the hood. We might get similar with a pen where the logo needs to go underneath the pen clip. So you will be able to use our masking tool to define the imprintable area, which will ultimately mean that the logo will not go on top of any of those elements and will appear as if it is behind anything it technically should be behind. Another example is if you have a duffel bag and the strap is hanging down the front and you need the logo to somewhat tuck under that, you'd absolutely be able to achieve that with the masking as well. All right, so somebody's asking how they get set up. So we of course need to get you set up on ZOOMstudio, and then you can choose to add the virtual add-on. It's a really simple process on your end. So we do take on what we call integration. When we do the kickoff, we ask what method you want to use for connecting your data. That might be promo standards, spreadsheet, or API. And then we take the work from there. So we'll get everything connected, we'll audit your data, we'll set you up in a test site so you can see how your data is working and functioning within your ZOOMstudio. And if you're happy with it, and when you're happy with it, we go live and you're ready to go. Now, there is some setup for the virtual add-on. We can speed some of that setup up with access to imprint data. But as I mentioned, you don't have to have that. And basically, you go through the dashboard and we'll be able to configure your products. And the level of configuration will depend on the product data we can get from you. But we can do a deeper dive one-on-one with that if you're interested. And then I see the pricing question. So yep, we can do that too. We can send you a custom proposal, and that is going to be dependent on the number of SKUs you carry. So we can definitely provide you with the pricing. We just need to have a quick conversation to make sure that we get the right package for you. And it's simple. You just have one annual fee. We also don't limit any of the usage and the content creation. So when you buy the subscription for ZOOMstudio with the virtuals add-on, you can create unlimited virtuals, have unlimited users, upload unlimited logos. So it's totally uncapped, and you can use the tool to its fullest. Another really good question, we didn't have time to touch on this, but this is also fully integratable with your website. We have two integration options. One is the more simple route, where you can link the tool to your website in a couple different ways so that users can create content and virtuals. And then we also have some APIs, which actually makes your website incredibly powerful. It brings the workflow of content creation to your site, so users can create sell sheets, presentations, and lookbooks with a single click with your up-to-date, accurate product information. And now with the addition of the virtual add-on, they can also instantly have their customer logo applied to the products in the pieces that they're generating. We also have some really exciting features coming down the road for website integration. So if that's something that is interesting to you, definitely reach out so we can do a one-on-one session and we can give you a bit more of a deeper dive on that. Okay, so we're 1 minute over. I am gonna call it, wrap this up, but as mentioned, reach out. We'd love to chat to you. We'd also love to virtual enable your content, get you up and running, and make your life, your distributors' lives, and your team's lives much easier with the ability to instantly create virtual samples. We look forward to hearing from you. Feedback is more than welcome, any additional questions. So you can email me if you have my email address, or not, if not, email support at zoomcatalog.com, and we'll be in touch. Thanks so much, everybody.